If you just tuned in, I'm Dick Cavett, and we're sitting here in my living room. Not exactly. We have two, these are the Jefferson airplanes, should you be so foolish as to have just joined us, and Joni Mitchell, and we have two people who just happen to be passing through the studio looking for a pay phone that works in New York, and they are Stephen Stills and David Crosby of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. I hear you did very well at the festival. Did it feel good?
At 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 in the morning?
In the rain.
Yeah.
7:30 in the morning.
It felt good.
Try 7:30 or 8.
Right.
It felt good.
I still have my mud.
It still felt good.
I just played my mind. I wasn't there. Did you go on at 8? You're kidding about that.
Sunrise.
15 hours on stage.
We did a religious thing. It was Sunday morning.
You did?
Yeah.
Something,
Morning raga.
I see. Is it weird to work at that hour? I mean, can you get anything?
Well, have you ever worked
going?
at that hour?
I haven't done anything at that hour. So we won't elaborate on that. Well, how was the festival in general? Would you consider it a success?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was probably the strangest thing that's ever happened in the world.
Everybody said there was some feeling about it.
Can I describe to you what it looked like flying in on a helicopter, man? It looked
Yes.
like an encampment of the Macedonian army on the Greek hills, crossed with the biggest batch of gypsies you ever saw.
How did you get out? I hear that they're still trooping back.
It was, yeah, fast. It was amazing.
There's a busload of people who thought they had tickets to the Lawrence Welk show, and they're still. Was the sound okay, and could everybody hear? And
Oh, yeah.
Bill Hanley sound.
Chip Monk, also. Mr.
Yes.
Chip Monk.
Chip never lets you down.
Never, man, never. He's
I
for
hate
sure.
those concerts where you, after the 10th row, you can't hear, and the act comes out and says, "Good evening, pass it on." What is the thing that drives you the most up the wall? Bad sound equipment.
Bad sound and especially bad monitor sound, because of course that's how we sing, you know. You notice, if you notice earlier when Grace was putting one hand to her ear like that, that just closes one circuit in there, and you sort of hear by conduction, and then you can sing even if you can't hear. But when you see somebody doing that, it means there's no monitor sound. That's the toughest.
Is that why you do that?
Grace actually has a mastoid
Thanks for all your
problem.
help.
I thought it was show business.
She had a boil behind her.
What'd you do, Grace, in your off hours at the festival?
Get on.
Does anyone want to answer
Jim,
for her?
Listen, Jim, I wish I could tell you.
You've got to learn my name, Miss Joplin. Wait a minute.
Touche.
Calling me Jim like
She was
that.
good.
Sorry, Ralph.
Didn't they teach you nothing at Finch?
He's got you. History.
How did I know?
History strikes back.
Please, let's get her back.
This
How
is
did
your
you-
life.
No, this isn't your life, but you did go to Finch, and you don't somehow fulfill my image of the typical Finch girl.
Finch out.
Why not?
I don't know, somehow there's something looser about you, and you sort of, I don't
I
know what
only
it-
went there for a year.
Yeah.
It takes 2 years.
How would you be different if you'd gone there for 2 years? I
I don't know, because I didn't stay.
wonder. And we'll never find out, will we?
I hope not.
All right. Your move. We're learning to communicate. I was going to ask you something. Do you ever, as a group, ever get asked to endorse a political candidate the way actors do, or certain singers?
We
would?
have.
Have you?
Usually try not to.
Do you? Why?
How many of them have you seen that you would endorse?
I'd sing for Pierre Trudeau.
Yay! Yay! Now Pierre Trudeau's another.
I
man.
would sing for Pierre Trudeau. He's very
A
good.
conspicuous good.
I guess
example.
everybody knows you're from Canada. Your work is sort of unpolitical in general, isn't it? You don't.
Well, yeah, I sing mostly about love and things that I can understand. I don't understand politics, mainly because in Canada we just never do anything very political. The biggest political news that I can remember ever there was the choosing of the flag. And that took 3 years. And they finally
Great
chose one
arguments.
that none of us liked.
Fantastic
And it
arguments
faded
there.
and everything. And, oh, well.
But we're still here to the south of you, protecting your border. When you're up around playing concerts and touring around the country, do you still get guys yelling at you, get a haircut, and
Sometimes you get, hey, Ringo, did your barber die?
marvelous witty fellows?
Either that or hippie creeps.
What do you do about that? Suppose you're walking down the street.
We used to collect
and
them.
3 guys come toward you and they have crew cuts.
Shoot 'em
And...
with a
Shh.
How's that?
Peace and love, flowers.
No, what do you do? Actually, if you're in a menacing situation, they say, hey,
Split,
weirdo,
leave, go away,
Yeah?
instantly, be someplace else as rapidly as possible.
Get into the center of another city.
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, that's what I always do when I'm menaced.
The best thing to
city
do.
up in Woodstock this week. There's like more people up there than there are in San Francisco.
Did you consider that as a city, man?
Say, how do you mean?
Well, I mean, for instance, like about 2 nights ago, that place up there was the second biggest city in New York
Yeah.
and had no violence.
Did the mayor show up?
I don't think it was his kind of city.
Yeah. But they did have a garbage problem, and he's a specialist in those. Well, did your parents all know where you are?
Yeah, well, they are.
I mean that semi-seriously. Do any of you have
Parents?
No,
No, we all
of course. Give me time to phrase this. What do your folks do, Grace?
What do they do?
Yeah, you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Mother's a housewife, father's an investment banker.
Is that so? And do they like your profession, or would they rather you'd gone into dentistry or something more secure?
I think they like it.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. What turned the trick for them?
Yeah. Same for me. That's the first time.
Hey, do you have trouble getting credit cards?
No.
No.
They never see us.
Yeah. Where do you suppose Hendrix is?
Asleep. Asleep.
The story was that he was just zonked out, as we used to say in Guadalcanal.
That's probably an accurate description.
Yeah.
Late at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he finished sometime about 10, yeah.
And they were ringing his phone and knocking on his door, and he didn't answer. So if you're watching the show, Hendrix, snap out of it.
He'll
Tried
be
to wake
all
him
right,
up.
man. He'll
Yeah.
be all right.
Do you read your reviews? Do you like to read analyses of your work and critics who try to say what it is you're saying and all that stuff?
As
Leonard
little-
Feather once said we sounded like a cow kicking down a backyard fence. That was one of our more favorite.
Cow kicking down a backyard fence? Yeah.
Try not to pay too much attention to him if we can help it.
Do you generally believe in astrology? Hands. You do.
He really looks like a lion, doesn't he? He's a Leo, David.
He's a Leo?
Mm-hmm.
And Grace is a Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, I gotta read you this. I found this thing about Scorpio. You're a Scorpio? I am too, as a matter of fact.
Watch out for Scorpio.
This is from a book on astrology. Scorpios are powerful, forthright, passionate individuals who would never carry a pocketbook which did not harmonize with their suits. They've really got my number.
Fantastic.
Are you a
I've never
Scorpio?
carried a pocketbook. Yeah, weaknesses are Scorpios have a tendency to sex enslavement, and I'll just keep reading here.
Yeah!
Get it.
And a liability to the overuse of stimulants. Read that? This is about me.
What are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
Yay!
And the stimulants thing is true. I can wig out on an overdose of iced tea. Let's, Stephen, do you want to do a number for us? Is there anything we left out? Anything anybody wants to say? Or rap about?
Oh, a million things.
You can't say
Are there?
that.
At least a million.
Anything that we can use on the air?
Burn the city.
Anything you've always wanted to say on television that nobody ever gave you the chance to
Yes,
say?
yes, I got
What am
one.
I doing?
I got one.
They just passed out in the executive room upstairs.
I got one, and I don't even think it's wrong.
Okay.
Well, like the air that we're all breathing is not clean, right? You're aware of that, right?
Right.
Everybody is. Anybody that looks out the window. Consider this. The only way to solve it seems to be to convince GM, Ford, Chrysler, 76 Union, Shell, and Standard to go out of business. Which is merely a setup for the punchline, which is fat chance.
Yeah. Especially since 4 of them are my sponsors.